Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Okay, so there's not a whole lot to go over today, but it's just kind of a brief meeting, but I do have quite a bit that I wanted some information that's important. A little bit that I'm going to go over is important, okay? Especially with all, you three guys are all newer. So I want to make sure that you guys understand a couple of things that are important. So, number one, customers. Obviously, customers are important, but one of the most important things regarding customers is communication. And what I mean by that is communicating to a customer not only where you are in a job, what the next step is in the job, if it's complete, if you're missing a part, how long it's going to be, and then the follow-up with that customer. So, at least for William, for you from now, because you'll be getting, once you get on your own, you have your iPad. Guillermo, it'll probably take you a little while before you're on your own, but you still may be, in some way communicating to a customer. And Iggy, absolutely for you. For the customer, like if you have a part that's on order, for an example, and you're in a job, and you know that you're going to be waiting on that part, you don't close that job or complete that job. Even though you may have been paid on the job already and you're just waiting on a part that's coming in, you want to reschedule that job so that, let's say a day out, 2 days out, and you call dispatch and you say to them, hey, can you reschedule John Jones for Wednesday at 2 o'clock and just put it on and put these notes in. Tell them what you want in the notes. They'll put it in for you. They'll type it in there and they'll say, okay, follow up for Iggy regarding part on order. Okay? That way, when tomorrow comes and you get through your day and you say, what else I got on my schedule? Well, you have this follow up here, Iggy, that says that you have to check on this part. Okay. Right? So, even though it's already been paid for by the customer, it's reminding you when you get to tomorrow that you need to follow up on that part. So then you can call Ferguson or whoever and say, hey, I'm checking on this part. I ordered it yesterday. Where's this part at? Because what happens is, if you close that job out, you may write yourself a note somewhere or whatever. Now you forgot about it because you get busy. We all get busy. And now this customer calls me a month later and says, hey, somebody ordered a part for me, or I'm waiting on some parts and I haven't gotten them. Where are they? So if you, instead of closing that job out, you put it on your reminder for whatever day, a day from now, 2 days. It might be a week. Maybe they tell you that it won't be in for a week.
That's true.
Then you reschedule it for that day, a week from today, to follow up, and you call Ferguson. And then after you call Ferguson and find out what the status is, you communicate again to the customer. So the customer stays in the loop the entire time. Because the last thing we want to have happen, especially when we have long-term customers that we've done a lot of work for, and we plan on doing a lot of work for in the future, is for that customer to call us and say, hey, I haven't heard from anybody in a month or 2 months or whatever, some part that was supposed to come in, and I don't know what's going on. And then I have to go to one of you and say, hey, this is your customer, what happened? You closed the job out, so obviously you didn't make good enough notes for yourself, and now we're in a situation where the customer's upset. And they still don't have a system. And when do they need their system? So let's talk about, it doesn't matter if plumbing is going to pretty much be all the time, but it could be, for an example, they have it's an extra bathroom that they don't use all the time. So they don't remember until now they have guests, and now the guests can't use the bathroom. And it's been 2 months and they just, they forgot about it. We all get busy in life, but we have to make sure that we do utilize the tools that we have here to help you when it comes to that. Reschedule the job, don't complete it. Make sure you put the notes or have them put the notes, either way. If you don't trust that dispatch is going to put the notes you want, then you put the notes in there. It's not that hard. Put the notes in there yourself, saying that this is a follow-up for me, blah, 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 this is what I need to do, and then do the follow-up. Guys, we can't afford to have customers upset with us about anything, so we have to communicate to them. We have to make sure we're following up. Okay? All right. So the next part of this is there's 2 parts to this. So we have a lot of new people, but we also have some people that have been here a long time. And it doesn't matter how long you've been here or how much experience you have or don't have on certain things. You're always going to come across something you don't know how to do. Somewhere along the line, you're not going to have done that particular style of water heater, or maybe some strange. We're talking about hydronics. Comes in there, and you've never really worked on this particular system, or maybe you are an HVAC guy and you have to deal with a plumbing thing that you're not really sure about, and vice versa, right? We have resources that you guys can call and ask questions on. And I'm going to say this in front of Kevin, because Kevin will respond, I think, the way that I believe he's going to respond. Kevin has actually even called me as a resource on a question about a price, or what I think about this, or it could be, he had a drain call that he went to and he was having a problem. He asked me what I thought. I told him, he did it, it worked. But we have resources here amongst us. I mean, we can call Mike, we can call Ryan, we can call Iggy on things that you guys may not know, Jesse. Everyone has experiences that would help other people. But if you're on a job, and let's say that Kevin sells a job for HVAC or plumbing, and you have a question on something, or you're not sure how to do something, and you're like 80% done with the job, 90% done with the job, and there's a couple more hours in the day, the goal should be for you to call and ask the question. And if he doesn't know, he'll probably at least give you someone who does, or you can call me, or you can call, we'll find someone who can figure it out and get you the help you need before you leave the job. Because the goal is to get the jobs done as quickly as we can, right? The way all of us get paid more, then there's more time for us to do the next job the next day. The last thing we want to do is have a 2-day job turn into a 3 or 4 day job, or a 1-week job turn into a 3-week job. And that's happened, right, Mike? That's happened before. Things just don't go the way you think, and you don't plan properly. That can happen. But
First fall through the ceiling.
Or you can fall through the ceiling, right? Yeah. I mean, but there's things that can slow you down in jobs, and a lot of it's planning. But when you're on a job, and let's say Kevin sold it or Mike sold it, it doesn't matter who sold it, now you're on it. You have to look at the job and see everything you know how to do, and also what you don't know how to do. So you know what questions to ask. Okay, so here's where I'm at. I'm on, I don't understand how to do this particular research line or whatever it is. Ask the question before. You don't just do what you know how to do and then leave the job, because now we're going to have to reschedule. And maybe Kevin thought you knew how to do it. But if you don't know how to do it, don't be afraid to ask the question. Now, once you get back to the shop and you're not done with the job, now we're having to reschedule it and add hours and switch things in the schedule and do everything else like that, which then slows our money coming in and everything else. So I'm just saying that so you guys understand that the goal is to get the jobs done as quickly as we can. We don't want to have a shorter day just because we want to have a shorter day, and then tomorrow it gets screwed up, and then we're pushing things off or whatever the case is. That's not always going to happen, but the bottom line is still get it done as quickly as we can, right? But doing it the right way. So if you have a question, don't be afraid to ask, okay? If you're not sure how to do something, say, hey, I need some help on this. Can you come over and show me? And it may or may not happen. We may have to reschedule some things. I get that. That's going to happen. But don't be afraid to ask is my biggest point on that, okay? Because we can't get jobs done. We don't get paid. We can't pay our bills. All of that stuff happens, right? All right? Anybody have any questions on that? Is that pretty straightforward, right? Okay. Then the other thing that I wanted to talk about is how we do both plumbing and HVAC in our team. I mean, especially in an apprentice position, there's going to be times that you're going to be going into from HVAC to plumbing and from plumbing to HVAC. It depends where the business is. That's how our business runs, because we want to try to keep you busy. We want to try to keep you learning. And Jesse will attest to this. I mean, when I first got here, Jesse was only doing one type of thing, it seemed like 90% of the time, and then he kind of started swapped all the way to the other side and then back and forth. But that's where the money is, and then wherever the money is where we're going to go. Okay, so don't be afraid to learn plumbing. Don't be afraid. I mean, an HVAC tech typically isn't going to do the same type of labor sometimes that a plumber will do. I mean, we have to dig trenches. We have to do all kinds of things in plumbing. But in this company, we're going both directions. Whatever we have to do, wherever the money is, you just got to jump in and both feet do what you got to do. Okay, so we can't have anybody who's going to work for us as an apprentice be afraid of work, because it's going to be there. And sometimes it's going to be hard work. Sometimes it's going to be just thinking work. I mean, it changes. So I just want to reiterate that to everybody. Plumbing, I mean, there may be something, hey, Iggy, we need you on this HVAC thing. And Iggy's like, I don't know anything about HVAC. Well, don't be afraid to learn it, because when we're slow in plumbing and all of a sudden everyone has HVAC problems and we're busy over there, it may just be soldering. You know, it may just be soldering some lines, which is kind of still both. I mean, you know, we do plumbing, we have to solder as well. And maybe you'll learn a little bit about electrical, and maybe you'll learn a little bit about how the system works, just the basic stuff. But it's going to make you a more rounded individual, and it gives you a lot more potential for income as time goes on. So don't be afraid of it, okay? That's pretty much all I have. Kevin, you got anything you want to add?
No.
Okay.
Good.
So today we do have the two big jobs we have. I'm not sure about the bin guard for you, and you guys they have all the parts? Okay. So I have that scheduled for you and Ryan, so you guys will be together today. Jesse, you and Guillermo are going to be at Lambkin. There's the irrigation thing. Kevin's gonna meet you over there, I think, first thing this morning, and kind of walk you through everything to make sure you guys know what has to be done. And then Iggy, you and William are gonna be going back to bin guard, and so Kevin's gonna show you guys what needs to be done. It's because I want you to do the work. This is we're paying you the service I'm on this, so basically he's going to show you what needs to be done. He'll be there hanging out doing paperwork and stuff, so if you need him you can call him, don't be afraid to do that. But you're going to learn a little bit of plumbing, because it's a tankless water heater setup, so you'll have some help from him. But basically Kevin and I were talking this morning on how we want to make sure that you guys are learning too, because there's things that Iggy doesn't know, there's things that Ryan doesn't know. I mean, everyone doesn't know everything. That's the beauty of it. We usually have someone who does. So we'll show you, teach you, and be a better company afterwards.